At the end of the day, it's all about users, customers, and revenue. Triple your growth and turn your company into a sales machine, no matter the crisis. Learn how to create successful marketing and sales strategies on and offline. And learn the latest trends, hacks, tips, and tricks in the world of KPIs and metrics, covered in this program block. Expect hard facts, first-hand advice, and nothing but the latest techniques.
Welcome back, everyone, to Studio 3 and to Growth Academy. My name is Sto, and I'm your host here at Podim DX Experience, and I'm super excited about our next session. And who is going to be the person to present next? Let's see the video. What an honor, what a pleasure to welcome you today, Sepideh, Dundon, here at Podim. You've been working with LinkedIn for over 10 years, and you're a senior channel partner lead. And I gotta say, LinkedIn is my favorite platform. I'm spending a lot of time there, so I can't wait to dive into this topic with you. Welcome to Podim.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the lovely introduction there.
You're welcome. So how are you doing today? Where are you joining us from?
I'm doing well. I'm joining you from London.
Yeah, how's the weather?
It is typical British weather. It's raining and I don't want to say miserable, but it is miserable. But it's good because I'm inside. I don't have to be outside in the rain.
Right, it's miserable, but it's expected. So
it's expected, exactly, yes.
Fantastic. How did you get into, before we get into your presentation, how did you get into working for LinkedIn? Was it by accident or was it like very intentional? I love this company, I want to join and be part of it.
I've been at LinkedIn now for close to 10 years, so I can't say it was too intentional. Back then, there were very few tech companies with presence in London. But I knew that I wanted to work in the advertising landscape, and I saw a really good fit between working at LinkedIn and helping our customers with their branding and advertising on the platform. So it was a perfect match for me.
Wonderful. And before we go into the presentation, I would like to invite our audience who's watching in the app, make sure to post your questions. If there is any time by the end of the session, we'll have time for some Q&A, so write down your questions during the keynote. And without any further ado, Sepideh, the floor is yours. Go for it.
Great, thank you so much. I'm really pleased to be here with you today and to be talking you through our LinkedIn marketing solutions. So as the title of the slide shows here, I'm here to talk to you about B2B marketing and doing business where business is done. So my objective today is really just to introduce you to the marketing opportunities we have on LinkedIn and why it's foundational for a number of brands to have LinkedIn as part of their marketing strategy. And no matter what their marketing objectives might be, whether it's long-term brand building, whether it's driving conversations, or really simplifying a purchasing journey, we see so many brands utilizing LinkedIn now as an integral part of their strategy. So I'm really excited to be sharing this with you here today as well. And before we go into talking about the capabilities on the platform, I just really want to share our perspective on where marketing is today and where it's quickly moving towards. So the world we work in is rapidly evolving, and we've definitely seen this over the past year more than ever. We've gone from working in an office environment to working from home, to doing things ourselves, to automation, to having mass reach, to one-on-one relationships, limited data, to data overload. So we're really seeing a shift in the world of work, and we've quite quickly adapted to this new normal and to this new way of working. And it's a rather exciting space to be in, to know that things can shift and evolve so quickly. But amidst these shifts, we know that marketers are still trying to do their jobs, and they're still trying to activate their branding and lead generation, whether it's on LinkedIn or off of LinkedIn. And as we help these brands navigate change, we really believe that consumers should continue to be at the heart of everything that we do. And here you can see some stats recently from the Global Web Index, which really showcases how people are feeling about digital advertising right now. And one stat that I love is that 73% of these people that were interviewed in this survey felt that brands should advertise as normal or have no opinion at this time. And maybe this was more relevant this time last year, but we're still seeing that some brands aren't comfortable with having an opinion or recovering from what happened at the peak of the pandemic last year. So we really see that these shifts are taking place, and it's a quite, as I say, interesting space to be in as we navigate these shifts together. And on top of that, we know that there's challenges that marketers face regardless of what's happening in the world today. And there's really three key challenges that we've noticed. The first is that there's a complex buying journey. When we talk about B2B advertising, which is what LinkedIn is primarily, there's a really complex buying journey. And there's a really broad buying audience who are often really hard to reach. And it creates this level of complexity that's quite hard to navigate. Secondly, we see that buyers are distracted. There's so much noise out there that they don't know what to listen to anymore. There's constant messaging, and they put up these filters now where they're trying to distract themselves from all the different messages that they're receiving. So we know that they're distracted. And finally, we know that for marketers, there's incredible internal pressure to prove results. And I think more so than ever, these pressures are there for marketers to have to provide to their stakeholders, to the business, the return on investment that they want to see. And so I want to just briefly jump into these three challenges and talk to you about them. The first, as I mentioned, around the complex buying journey. So when it comes to B2B advertising, often we're talking about high consideration purchases. And we know that when it comes to this, the right buyers can be really hard to find. And that's because these types of purchases are more expensive, there's less relevant net consumers, and there's a lot to think about in this world. In a recent survey that we did, we saw that 92% of buyers say that the content plays a really important role in their buying decision. But unsurprisingly, only 1 in 2 buyers feel that the content that they see is relevant to them and helps them make decisions to help solve their pain points and to really help with the challenges that they're having. And on top of that, B2B buying, again, very complex. And there is a big B2B buying committee. On average, there's 6.8 people in a buying committee, which really lengthens the decision-making process even further than you would normally see in B2B sales. Which brings me on to my next point, which is that the buyer's journey is longer and it's much more complex. On average, B2B sales cycles can take up to 6 months, meaning that we need to continuously message potential customers with branding and so on to ensure that they remain, that the brand, remains top of mind for them and helps them along that purchasing decision. And talking about distracted buyers, we know that buyers are already tough to find because there's a few of them out there, but they're also really harder to connect with. And again, for bigger investments that arguably have more on the line and more at risk. Therefore, brands really need to catch these buyers when they're in the right mindset, ready to make these high consideration purchases. And here you can see that in a recent survey, when B2B buyers are considering a purchase, they only spend 17% of their time meeting with potential suppliers. So if you have a look there, you'll see that they actually spend 27% of their time researching independently online. So it's really important that brands have the right content in front of them to help them make informed decisions and to help them along this cycle. And finally, when it comes to internal pressures, we know that marketers work really, really hard and they deliver tremendous value to organizations, but they often go unrecognized for that work. and the value that they bring to their business. And this lack of recognition arises when marketers, rather ironically, struggle to market the impact of their marketing. So they're hesitant in showcasing the results, in making calculations on the return on investment, and stakeholders and other people within the business sometimes don't understand where these marketing dollars are going. So here you can see some stats. I'll let you read them, but it's really important that we have clear objectives for the return on investment that you want to see from any advertising campaign, and making sure that you can prove that to the business, the return that you're seeing from your advertising, whether it's on LinkedIn or off of LinkedIn. And so when we talk about LinkedIn and doing business where business is done, there's three key things. There's first the audience. So on LinkedIn, we have a professional audience and decision makers at scale who come to LinkedIn to help them with their professional careers. They also come to drive meaningful engagement and are in that mindset to do business. So they come here with a very clear intention of what they want to get out of the platform. And they're in an environment that yields results. So LinkedIn is a trusted platform delivering impact to them. And time over time, they really see this as they come back to the platform. And when we talk about decision makers at scale, LinkedIn now has over 700 million members globally. And we have and our members have 2 times the buying power of the average web audience. So we have a really diverse set of members on LinkedIn. And what we know about our members is that the data we have on them is incredibly accurate because it's all based on first-party data. So our members input all the information about themselves, and we know that they keep this information up to date. They keep their profiles up to date with their latest jobs, with activities that they're doing, with courses that they're doing. So we know when it comes to targeting, we're reaching members who are what they say they are. And this is incredibly impactful for brands, knowing that they can reach a high-profile audience on the platform and know that they're reaching them with a really high level of accuracy. And I touched on the mindset to do business. I think this is really important when we talk about LinkedIn, how our members come to the platform. When we talk about other social media platforms, often the members go to spend time. But when you come to LinkedIn, you really come to invest your time in yourself and in your career. And it's not just about jobs. I know there was a big misconception before that LinkedIn is just about jobs, but it's definitely not. I'm here to tell you it's not. LinkedIn is a content platform, and our members come back time over time to engage with content. They come to read news, they come to connect with their network, they come to find new opportunities, to hear from brands, and it's such a diverse set of things that you can do on the platform that we see that there's such high usage within our audience globally. And for the 3rd year in a row, LinkedIn has been acknowledged as the most trusted platform globally in the Business Insider Digital Trust Report. So this is the premier digital platform where members come to focus on building and growing their professional community. And we've created an environment where consumers and brands alike feel respected and they feel safe. So we've ranked number 1 for the least annoying ads, confidence in data, least deceptive content, and feel safe participation. So it really is a trusted platform where we know everyone has safety top of mind and comes, as I say, it comes back time and time again because it is such a trusted platform. You can see some stats again. I'll let you read through them, but again, it's important to keep in mind that LinkedIn is a trusted platform. And my colleagues from H2 Pool will be talking through more about our capabilities on the platform in the next session, but I want to give you a brief overview of the importance of establishing a community on LinkedIn. So most of the brands that work with us really see community at the heart of what they're doing and build out their presence on LinkedIn based on this. So the first step in any strategy to do this is building your community, as they say. And there's a number of different ways that this can be done. First, you can start by building out your company page, which I will come to. But before that, even start following topics and trending hashtags to find relevant conversations that are happening in your industry. So this really helps you to understand the conversations that are happening already, where you fit into those conversations. It can also help you guide what conversations you should have, or identify gaps where your company could own that space in that conversation. And you can monitor activities. You can really see what's going on within your community from here. And then you have your page where you can see all of this, of course, and you can post content on your page daily. You can engage with members on your page and really build out your presence. We do say that the LinkedIn page for your brand is your home. So anyone who wants to find out more about you comes to this page to really see who you are, whether it's from like a branding point of view or whether it's from a team and talent point of view. There's so many ways that you can build out your page so that when people come, they get a real strong snapshot of who you are as an organization and how they want to engage with you. So if you haven't already, I highly encourage you to build out your company page on LinkedIn and to really make sure that it's relevant and up to date. And you can use those tips that I told you before to build out content that you can share with the audience who are following you on your page. We've had two new features recently launched. The first is LinkedIn Live and the second is Events. So LinkedIn Live allows you to go live from your page and to host events, seminars, anything that you want to talk about from your page. And in the past year where we've all shifted to being behind our screens and not being able to go to conferences and events, this has really been valuable to brands to be able to go live from their page and start conversations and bring their community together from LinkedIn. We've also launched events, which allows you to host your events on LinkedIn. So you can invite people to join the event, you can network there, you can post content. It's really a home for events to live and to have their presence. And we've had some really, really valuable feedback from this events feature. So if you haven't checked these out already, I strongly encourage you to do so and make sure that you're utilizing them. As mentioned, my colleagues from HTT Pool will be talking about more of our products. So HTT Pool is actually LinkedIn's official partner across Central Eastern Europe and a number of other markets. So I work very closely with them in helping our customers develop their presence on LinkedIn. And often when we're speaking to our customers, we're speaking about paid solutions. So how they can amplify their voice on LinkedIn and how they can go even further with paid for solutions that we have. So there's 3 different ad formats that we have. The most popular one is sponsored content. So this allows brands to showcase their messaging within the feed. Again, being a trusted platform, a platform that has very little noise, our brands like to use this to be able to message their target audience from here. And we see a really, really high usage of this sponsored content feature globally. We also have sponsored messaging, which allows brands to message customers. Usually this is used for more one-on-one niche audiences that we want to reach. And brands can start conversations here with those potential customers and continue that even now. We have additional ad formats such as dynamic ads and text ads, which I'm sure you're all used to. So I won't go into too much detail on this because I know the HTT Pool team will be talking about this. And I will allow them to go into their workshop about it. But keep in mind, these are the ad formats that we see. And I know, again, they'll be sharing some case studies with you even of how our customers now are utilizing these features. So please do join that session. And that's it from me, actually. I want to thank you for inviting me to this wonderful event. And I hope to connect with you all on LinkedIn and to hear from you and what you're doing on the platform and feedback on what you're seeing in your region and how it's going for you. So thank you again and take care.
Sepideh, thank you so much for an insightful presentation. I'm super, super grateful for this. And as I said, my favorite platform at the moment is LinkedIn. I just want to ask you a couple of questions before we leave you. And the first one is, there's many startups and tech people part of this conference. And you mentioned some of the hot features at the moment at LinkedIn, but could you could you maybe, if you can give us some insights, what are the most important features at the moment? Like, is it LinkedIn Live that there's the attention there, or is it stories that LinkedIn is prioritizing in terms of where should startups focus if they want to be visible on LinkedIn?
Great question. I think primarily the place to start is your page, building out your page and making sure you have presence there because that is your home. So building that out and making sure that it's a strong page. So everything is there about your company, making sure all your employees are linked to your page, and really starting by building that community first and having conversations with them. So messaging them from your page through content there and making sure those conversations continue. Once that's in a really good place, then you can start thinking about things like live or stories which are to come, but really focus on building a page and building out your follower community first before anything else.
And talking about community, what about the groups on LinkedIn? Is that the place where you can actually build community, or is that not something that's really prioritized by the platform at the moment?
Groups are there for conversations, so closed conversations can happen in groups, and they are quite niche conversations that can take place in groups. But we do see that a lot of our members engage more now in content. So now there's two-way communication on things like sponsor content, so brands can actually respond to any messages they get in that way, and you can create a bit of a dialogue.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned also something interesting. You said, focus on putting up your page out there, the company page, being consistent with posting organically. What about the personal profiles? There's many people out there that maybe they have a company page, they're posting from there, but how do we utilize the personal profiles in terms of creating valuable content so we can drive traffic to our profile or you can drive business?
Yeah. From your own profile, you can create long form content now. So if you're someone who likes to create things like blogs or you have interesting topics to talk about, you can actually do your own on your page and share that with your connections. You can also do your own posts that you see everyone's doing already, and you can share that with your network as well. So you can create a bit of a buzz there to make sure, again, that you stay relevant and that you're connecting with your own network there as well.
And would you recommend that people should be kind of paying attention to what new features are? Like, for example, recently in the region that I reside in, it was introduced the newsletters feature. And I just wonder if you can also elaborate, should we as users, as content creators, be paying attention what's new out there? Because the logic is that the platform is probably going to be prioritizing it. The algorithm is going to prioritize the new features. Like, should that be some strategy to pay attention to?
Yeah, I mean, keep an eye out for what's new, of course, and stay up to date with it. But I can't really point you towards any new feature that is more important than an existing feature. So all equal, I would say.
Amazing. And what's next on the horizon for you? Like, maybe if you give us kind of a broad overview in your line of work within LinkedIn, what are some exciting projects? If you can give us something from the kitchen.
Oh, I don't know if I can. I'll let the HUT Pool team share with you some exciting things they're up to, actually. As I say, they represent us in CEE, and they're always doing cool things and thinking of different ways. And I'm sure Sharon S. will share a lot of them with you, and Luca as well, what's to come there.
Sounds great. Well, Sepideh, is there anything you would like to share? First of all, you already mentioned people can find you on LinkedIn if they have any questions and comments and maybe a feedback from the session. But what would be, so to say, your final message for the audience here in Podim? What would you like to leave the audience with?
Yeah, I would like to leave them with the fact that LinkedIn is the place for B2B marketing. Again, doing business where business is done. If you haven't already checked it out and you are in the B2B landscape, I highly encourage you to do so.
Thank you so much, Sepideh, for being with us, for sharing these insights, and for being part of the Podim community. So thank you once again for a great session.
Thank you very much. Take care.
All right, all right. So you've heard Sepideh. There's a lot of fun stuff. There's a lot of great possibilities around building a profile on LinkedIn, being really consistent about it, and using it as an opportunity to create relationships. On the one side, by being a content creator, on the other side of actually reaching out and creating connections, meeting up people online, especially in this working from home world we're living in today. Right now, we're going to take a very short pause, so just like a bathroom pause, 3-minute pause before we get into practical side of things, and we're going to talk about LinkedIn again in a workshop format. So be with us here again. I'll see you in 3 minutes, and we continue with the workshop.